Hi guys, in this video you're gonna look at the questions from a November 2021 paper. This is paper 1, so this is a non-calculator, and this is foundation tier. So you know Eduqas, if you're taking exam board with Eduqas, which is a Welsh qualification, you have 2 exams, non-calculator paper 1 and calculator paper 2. Each exam is 2 hours and 15 minutes long. So always look at your formula sheet in case if you need them for the questions. Here you have area and volume formulas. Okay, let's start with question 1. From the number in the list above, write down a square number. So what are the square numbers? Numbers multiplied by themselves. So just start with 1. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4. Just to remember all your square numbers. So remember, square numbers are the answers for those. And you can see actually 16 is in the list. So 16 is a square number, and they're called square numbers because we can arrange them as squares. For example, we can arrange them as 4 by 4 squares. So 4 by 4, 4 times 4 give you 16. Then you need to find the smallest prime number, which is 2. And what are the prime numbers? Numbers which have only 2 factors. In this case, number 2 has factors 1 and 2 only. So we're adding these 2 numbers in the next one. Just position them correctly, units under units, tens under tens, and you get 505. Work out 0.045 times by 100. There is no need to have a calculator here or use the long multiplication. Just move the decimal point 2 places to the right, and that will give you the answer 4.5. We need to write 17 as a fraction, percentage as a fraction, so percentage means out of 100, so 17 over 100. Write the following numbers in order. You might start maybe from smallest to largest first if it makes it easy for you, and then rearrange them, write them the other way around. So that is from smallest to largest, and the answer asks you to start from the largest. So 0.03, 0, and you have -2, and finally -5. So from largest to smallest. Work out this. So we need to multiply 6 by 40 first. Just multiply 6 by 4, 24, and then add the 0 to the answer. And then you're going to divide that by 12 because fraction sign means division. So again, ignore the 0 and just do 24 divided by 12, which is 2, and then add the 0 to your answer. 20. Question 2. Samad asked a group of 120 football fans the following question. What type of football matches do you enjoy watching most? And the pictogram shows the results. We've got the key for the pictogram, so that we've got hexagon shape, represent 12. So if we divide 12 by 6, by number of triangles inside, we'll get 2. So we know the little triangle means 2 fans. So the next question asks you how many more football fans answered league than FA Cup. So make sure you underline them so you don't mistake them for the other, and find the difference between those two. So let's work out the total for each one first. And we're adding those 2's 4 times. So 2 times 4 is 8. So add them up. That's the total for the league. Okay, we'll do the same for FA Cup, which is 24. And how many more? That means we have to subtract one number from the other to get the answer. 20. Okay, let's look at the next question. A football fan is chosen at random from Hamad's group of 120, which is a total. On the probability scale, mark with an arrow the probability that this football fan answered European Championships. So European Championships got 12, and we're going to show it as a fraction. 12 out of 120 or over 120. Let's simplify this fraction. And then we're going to decide where to put the arrow on that probability scale. So we can divide each side by 12 in this fraction. We can also count, see how many numbers we have from 0 to 1. That is 10. So let's divide 12, the top and the bottom, by 12. That gives you a fraction 1 out of 10. So we know where to put the arrow now. That is 1 out of 10 probability. Okay, next, work out the probability that the football fan answered World Cup. World Cup, let's have a look and count the numbers for World Cup. 12, 12, 12, and then 2 more, which means 4. Add up, and that gives you 40. So you got 40 fans, and we're writing this as 40 over 120 as a fraction, because it is probability. Simplify it, because they ask us to simplify this, and then that gives you 1/3. So 1/3. If you forget to simplify, you will lose 1 mark there. Question 3, circle the equation. So equation, guys, means equal sign. Something with equal sign. So can you see the options? And only one of them's got equal sign. So that is an equation. 3x equals 6. Let's look at B. Circle the expression that means 4 lots of n. 4 lots of n means 4 times n, or shortly 4n. So that's going to be the last option. Question 4 has got 4 marks. Joni is buying a silver twist carpet. She needs to buy 30 meters squared and have it delivered. Joni wants to pay the lowest total price possible, and she chooses from these 2 local shops. Okay, you've got 2 deals there. So let's just circle the keywords which we need to remember. So he needs to buy 30 meters squared and he needs to have it delivered. So let's have a look at the first deal. 50% off marked price, local delivery £25. So, and you pay £24 per meter squared. So we're going to work out how much the carpet going to cost Joni, and multiply 24 by 30, because he needs 30 meters. That's the first deal. Super deal carpets. 30 times 24. Let's simplify this multiplication. We do just 24 times 3 and then times by 10 after. And 24 times 3 is just a short multiplication, which gives you 72. Then don't forget to add 0 at the end. £720 for the carpet. We need to add a delivery charge, which is £25. We're going to take away from, actually do half price first, because that's 50% off. So half of 720 is 360. £360. And then we're going to add the delivery charge. So £385 she pays for the first deal. Okay, let's look at the second deal, rugs to go. So rugs to go, always, let's see, free local delivery we have there, and it costs £13 per meter. So we're going to multiply 13 by 30, because she needs 30 meters squared. 30 times 13. Let's simplify. 13 times 3 we're doing, and then times by 10 after. So 13 times 3 is just a short multiplication, 39, and times by 10, 390. So there is no delivery charge, so we're going to just compare these 2 prices. 385, 390, and we need to answer how much will she save. So 385 the cheapest. How much does she save? 390 minus 385, so that is £5. So she should buy from Super Deal Carpets, and she will save £5. Okay, that is 5-mark question. Question 5. This is on angles. The diagram shows an equilateral triangle. So that is like angles all equal in a triangle. And PQR inside a rectangle PSTU. Q is on the side PS of the rectangle. So we need to work out the angles A, B, and C. Let's just do them in order they're written. Let's work out angle A. So angle A is like a part of the side of a rectangle. So if you know, this is 90 degrees because that's a rectangle. And to work out A, we're just going to do 90 minus this side of a triangle. So because it's equilateral, each side of the triangle is going to be 60 degrees. How do we find it? 180 divided by 3, so 60 degrees each. Okay, and then we can take away 90 minus 60, and that will give us angle A. So angle A is 30 degrees. Okay, we're going to look now at angle B, and you see it's inside a quadrilateral, four-sided shape, which I'm just going over. That is four-sided shape, and B is part of it. And we know angles in a quadrilateral add up to 360 degrees. So we're going to use this information later on for C, but let's just see what we know about angle B. It's actually angle B, and on the other side we have 60 degrees. They both will add up to 180 degrees because they are on a straight line. So we're going to use this fact and work out angle B. 180 minus 60 degrees. So that will give you 120 degrees for B. Let's mark it 120 degrees. And finally, we're finding angle C, and now we're going to look at that quadrilateral, which I highlighted. And you can see 3 angles actually given, because that one will be 90 degrees, and all of them add up to 360. So to work out one missing angle, we're just going to take 360 minus all 3 angles we have, minus 85, minus 120, minus 90, and that will give you, what do we have here, 65. So the C is going to be 65. You can check the answer by adding all 4, and that should add up to 360 degrees. Always check your answers. So C is 65 degrees. So these are 4 marks for these, all the workings. So let's write them down. A is 30 degrees. We use the rule about 90 degrees angle. Angles add up to 90 degrees. For B, we use the rule about angles on a straight line, 180 degrees. And for C, we use the rule about quadrilaterals. The total of the angles in the quadrilaterals add up to 360. Okay, question 6. Here we have a grid, X and Y axis, and the grid, and we've got 4 points on it, and they are on a 1 centimeter grid. So D, E, B, and A, they are marked. So we need to write the coordinates for E. Let's just put the line down, line across, and the numbers you see, there are coordinates. Always start with X. So X shows -4, number on the X-axis, and then number on the Y-axis is 1. Don't do the other way around. Just remember that X and Y should go in alphabetical order. First X, then Y. So an ABC is a triangle with the following properties. Angle ABC is a right angle. So point A is missing, and we know if we have to put it, the ABC will be the right angle. And the length of BC is twice the length of AB. So between A and B, we have 3 triangles, 3 squares, and that means the coordinates for A is going to be 6. 6 squares away. This is where we position C and mark it. Okay, and then D and E are 2 vertices of a triangle DEF. So we're going to draw put another point there. Triangle DEF is congruent to triangle ABC. So you need to know the meaning of congruent So congruent means identical. So it means two triangles will be identical to each other, the same size, the same shape. Okay, so we just need to put point AF, and that will be the same height as C from B, and that answers the question here. So these two triangles, ABC and DEF, will be identical in size or congruent. Question 7. Marie is playing a game with two fair spinners. She spins each spinner once. Can you see there are two spinners and each one is divided into 4 parts. There are numbers in them. So she adds the scores together and completes the diagram to show all the possible totals. So here's a two-way table. So numbers which go down, 1, 2, 4, 8, show the numbers on spinner 1. Numbers which go across show numbers for spinner 2, 2, 6, 8, 10. And we need to add them to get the numbers on a white part, on the white squares. So some of them already been added. So you see 1 plus 2 give you 3, or your 1 plus 2 plus 2 give you 4. We just add them across and then putting the numbers in the middle. So in the same manner, put the missing numbers. So 2 plus 10 will give you 12. 4 plus 8 will give you 12. 4 plus 10 will give you 14. So on, just write the missing numbers. You can also see there is a pattern there. Numbers go up by 2. Okay, so now that is 1 mark for putting in the missing numbers. Maria wins the game when the total is 10 or less. What is the probability that Maria doesn't win the game? So let's just find all the numbers which are 10 or less. Okay, that's the ones I'm circling, 10 or less. I know 11 is not there, isn't it? 11 is more than 10, so it should be without 11. So all the numbers are circled. I'm just gonna delete that 11. So there are 16 options altogether, as you see on the white squares, 4 by 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 11 is not there. So we're gonna take away the ones I circled, which is 9, and we'll be left with the options which didn't win. So numbers more than 10. So 7. So the answer is 7. And remember, we have to show it as a probability. We're going to put it as 7 over 16. Question 8. Put one pair of brackets in each calculation to make it correct. So this is BidMath question. Not BidMath, we need to put brackets somewhere. So you know there's no point putting brackets between 3 and 4 or 1 and 2 because they come first anyway. So we're going to put them between 4 and 1 because that's what you do after. So that is give you 5. And 3 times 5, 15. 15 times 2 give you 30. Okay. In the second example, again, no point putting brackets between 36 divided by 2 or 2 times 3 because they come first before taking away. So let's put brackets between subtraction. 50 minus 36, that give you 14. 14 divided by 2, 7. And 7 times 3 is 21. B. Callum is working out 41 minus 29.5 in brackets squared. He estimates the answer to be 700. His answer is a good estimate. So for estimation, we have to round each number first and round it to one significant figure. So 41 can be rounded to 40. 29.5 can be rounded to 30. So make them easy enough to do all calculations in your head. And then we're going to take away the brackets first, which give you 10. 10 squared is 100. So as you see, his estimate is 700. It's too far, so it's not a good estimate. So we're going to tick no. Okay, question 9. Here's a number machine. Input and then output. So input is 6. So let's just do what you need to do. For 6 times 7, do one step at a time. So 42, and 42 plus 3, 45. So the answer is 45. The output is 45. The input is 2x. Let's put 2x in there. Write an expression for the output. Let's again do the things we see from left to right. 2x times by 7 first. That will give you 14x, which is multiplying numbers. And then we're adding 3 to it. So that's it. That's the answer. We can't simplify this because they are not like terms. And here's a different number machine. Input, subtract 8, and got the missing number there, and output. So let's just put 12 and 0.4 in the right places for input and output. And 12 minus 8 is 4, and then we're thinking 4, you do something to 4 to get 0.4. So 4 and 0. How can we get 0.4? That's a smaller number. So we're going to just divide it by 10. 4 divided by 10. That is what's missing there. So 4 divided by 10. So that is what we need to put in there. Divide by 10. So that is division, and divide by 10. Question 10. Katie uses the following rule for cooking frozen fish. Measure the fish in centimeters at its thickest point. Cook frozen fish for 8 minutes per centimeter. Turn the fish over halfway through the cooking time. I just underlined the key information there. Katie cooks a piece of frozen fish that measures 3 centimeters. And after how many minutes should Katie turn her piece of fish over? So 3 centimeters we have. So we're going to multiply 3 by 8 because that's per centimeter. So that's 24 minutes in total. She needs to cook the fish, and then she turns it halfway. So we're going to divide that by 2, 12 minutes each side. So this is what she does. She needs to turn it after 12 minutes. Sajid uses the following rule for cooking fresh fish. Measure the fish in centimeters at its thickest point. Cook fresh fish for 4 minutes per centimeter. Add an extra 5 centimeters to the cooking time for fish wrapped in foil. So Sajid cooks a piece of fresh fish that he has wrapped in foil. And he uses the rule and cooks his fish for a total of 31 minutes. We're going to work backwards here because we know the total. So 31 minus 5 will give you 26 minutes. And then 26 minutes, we're going to divide by 4. We can half and half it again. So 13, half of 13 is so 6.5. Okay, that is 6.5 minutes. 6.5 centimeters. That's what, because we found this thickness of the fish. Question 11. £125 is invested at a fixed percentage rate of simple interest. In 3 years, it earns £9 simple interest. How many years in total will take to earn £36 simple interest? So we're going to work out interest per year first. In 3 years, it's £9. So 125 invested. This is how you will work out the total. 125 times by interest rate times by number of years. This is simple interest. So now we're just going to work out per year. So 9 divided by 3 will give you £3 per year. And if we just divide the total simple interest, £36 by 3, we can find out the number of years, and that is 12 years. So in 12 years, the account will accumulate £36 simple interest. Jim invested $20,000 in Lulu's business. Lulu agreed to pay Jim a fixed percentage rate of a simple interest each year on his investment. At the end of 5 years, Lulu had paid Jim a total of $4,000 in interest payments. So we need to find yearly rate of simple interest. So again, that's a normal way or formula of working out the interest is 20,000. That's the principal amount times by interest rate times by the number of years. So we've got some numbers there already. That's 5 years, we know. And we also know the total interest was 4,000 after 5 years. So we're going to find per year 4,000 divided by 5 will give you interest per year, 800. 800 per year. That's how much interest he earns. And we're going to show it as an interest rate. So now I've got all the numbers. We just need to change that 800, 800. Not 8, yes, let's cross it out, 10, and turn it into percentage, because interest rate shown as percentage or decimal. So 800 divided by 20,000. Let's simplify this division. 8 over 20. Let's make it out of 200. Let's divide by 2, make it 4 out of 100. That is percentage. Any fraction out of 100 shows percentage. So 4%. So interest rate is 4% per year. Question 12. The table shows the standard prices per night at the Cliff Hotel for 2022. Let's just examine closely this table. You've got dates there. We've got double plus room for 1 or 2 adults plus 1 child. And we've got family room for 4 or 5 people, and prices for each adult and each child. So the hotel website states a child must be 17 years old or less. A person aged 18 or more must pay the adult price, and a single adult in a double room pays 3/4 of the standard price per night. It's quite a worded question. It's 5 marks. Let's just underline the key information. 3/4 we need to remember, and also August. So they're going to book August. We're going to use these numbers from 1st of June to 31st of August. All the numbers for the prices. And so they're going to... So Henry is adult because he's 20 years old, and William goes as a child. So Mr. and Mrs. King are going to book either 1 double plus room for themselves and William, and 1 double plus room for Henry, or 1 family room for all 4 of them. And we need to find the difference, which is, what's the difference between these 2 deals? Okay, so we'll work it out now. So if Mr. and Mrs. King gonna book 1 double room for themselves and William, that's gonna cost them £160. We can see the price there, £160 for 2 of them and a child. But they're also booking the same room for Henry, and Henry is not going to pay 160, paying only 3/4 of that. So 3/4 of 160, we're going to divide 160 by 4, that is 40, and then times by 3, 120. So for Henry, they pay £120. Let's add them together, and that will be the total price for 4 of them for 2 rooms, £280. Okay, now next we're gonna work out the total for them if they book the family room. So family room, each adult, so there are 3 adults there, 2 parents and 1 and Henry, that's times by 3. And we also have a child, which is, they pay £12. Okay, let's add these numbers together, and we get £252. Okay, and we just find the difference between them, because let's ask you how much more will it cost to stay in the family room. And we just take away one number from the other, 280 minus 252. Okay, that is £28 difference, and this is the answer. So this is your 5-mark question, which involves reading from the table, working out fraction, working out the totals. Okay, next question. In March 20, it's the same question. In March 2020, the King family went on holiday to New Delhi, India. When their flight took off from London, it was 14:55. Let's highlight that. The duration of the flight was 8 hours 10 minutes. And what was the time when the flight arrived? We can use the timeline. It helps just to break it down into minutes and hours. So 14:55, and the flight was 8 hours 10 minutes. So we're just going to add 10 minutes first to this. That will give you 15:05, and we're adding 8 hours to that. 15 plus 8. That takes you to the evening. So 23:05. Or you can write 11:05 p.m. Make sure you write the time in the correct format, either as a 24-hour clock or 12-hour clock. Okay, flights from the New Delhi back to London take a different route, and the King's family flight was due to take off from New Delhi at 11:05, so that's the key information. New Delhi time. It was due to arrive in London at 15:20 London time, and New Delhi is 5 hours 30 minutes ahead of London time. So what was the duration of the flight? You may assume the flight took off and landed on time. Okay, so we can use the timeline here, 11:05. What we're doing first, we need to add 5 hours and 30 minutes to this, because we have London time, but we need to put the Delhi time, because they started the flight at Delhi time, they should end at Delhi time to find out the duration of the flight. So 11:05, we're going to add 5 hours. So 5 hours, 30 minutes. That's the difference in time. So 15:20 plus 5:30 will give you 20:50. This is the arrival time. 20:50. So what we need to do, we need to calculate the time from 11:05 New Delhi time to 20:50 New Delhi time. So we can work out, that's exactly 9 hours from 11:05 to 20:05. That's 9 hours. And we're just going to work out from 20:05 to 20:50. And that is, as you see, that will be 45 minutes more. So that is 20:50, that is plus 45 minutes. So that means the total time, flight time, was 9 hours 45 minutes. 9 hours 45 minutes. Okay, let's look at the last part of the question. The assumption in part 2 was incorrect. The flight took 10 minutes late and landed in London before 15:20. How does this affect your answer to part 3? Obviously, they started late and arrived earlier. That means duration of the flight was shorter. And I will spend less than 9 hours and 45 minutes. You don't need to calculate exactly. You just put that it will be shorter flight time. Question 13. The scale drawing shows the positions of a beach cafe, B, a church, C, and a farmhouse, F. And scale is 1 centimeter represents 1,000 meters. Okay, that's going to be a bearings question, because you got the indication of north. Can you see there from each point? North is always on the top, as shown on the map. So Don's house is on a bearing of 15 degrees from the church. So we're going to take protractor here and position it like this, and the middle of it is going to go on C, and make sure north is aligned with 0 degrees. So just put that middle of protractor on C, and the top of the protractor should be aligned with the line north line, and just measure 15 degrees. That's a small, like, acute angle we get. So I'm not having, so you have to use protractor here. So make sure you put 0 in front of 15, because we use 3 digits for 3 figures for bearings. 0, 1, 5 degrees. Okay, that is one angle. And then we're going to use the bearing of 320 degrees from farmhouse. So 300 degrees is quite a big angle, so we usually have protractor up to 180 degrees. So we're going to take it away from 360, and that give you 40 degrees, but this time we're going to measure it anti-clockwise. So again, put protractor like this, facing like that. The middle goes on F, and the top aligns with the north line, and measure 45 degrees. Look at the numbers from 0 to 45, and that look will look like this, and extend those two lines until they meet, and that will be where Don's house is. So mark it as D. So this is how we measure and find the location of Don's house. So work out the shortest distance in meters from Don's house to the beach. So from D to B, we draw the straight line. Use the ruler, where I put the dotted line. So use the ruler there, measure that. So in my case, that measures 8 centimeters. Measure in centimeters. It really depends how big your screen is when you're using from the screen. So 8 centimeters for me, and multiplied by the scale factor, which is the second number. So 1 centimeter represents 1,000. We've got 8 centimeters, so 8 times 1,000 give you 8,000, and the answer will be in meters. Part B. During the holiday season, a boat brings people to a point on the island. Don drives a minibus, taking people from the boat to the beach cafe. Don's minibus has seats for 16 passengers, and he makes 3 trips every 2 hours from the boat to the beach cafe. He starts work at the boat at 10 a.m. and finishes at 5 p.m. His lunchtime lasts 1 hour. And what is the greatest number of people Don can take from the boat to the beach cafe every day? So from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. he works. That is 7 hours. Then he has 1 hour break. Let's take that 1 hour off. 6 hours, not 8, 6. What did I put 8 there? 7 minus 1 will give you 6 hours. Okay, so he works 6 hours and he makes 3 trips every 2 hours. So how many trips will he make in 6 hours? So 3 trips every 2 hours. And 6 hours, that's 3 times more. So that means you're gonna make 9 trips then. 3 times 3 is 9. We can write them as a ratio. 3 to 2 is the same as 9 to 6. Here we're just multiplying by 3 times by 3, so 9. 9 trips in 6 hours. So he makes 9 trips in his shift time, and every time he carries 16 passengers. So 16 times 9, let's do short multiplication. That gives you 144 people he can carry. Question 14. 3 workmates, Alf, Nikki and Harriet, took part in a first aid training course at the local medical center. The course ended at 15:30. After the course, they all traveled home to the same village. And distance time graph shows the Alf's and Nikki's journey. So 15:30, that's one piece of information we need to remember. And you see the graph. This is distance time graph. Across we have the times, and up we have the distance. It goes up by 0.5 kilometers. Alf rode his bicycle and Nikki walked home. So we need to know which line, P or Q, is Nikki. You can see P is a bit higher, and then Q is lower. That implies that Q has got lower speed, and also it took him longer. So we're gonna Q, that will be Nikki's journey. And why? Well, because he was slower and it took him longer. See, if you look at when the line ends and go down to the timeline, can you see it took him longer than for P to cover his distance, and his distance is a bit slower than the solid line. So because he was walking, so walking is slower than going by bike. Okay, part B. Harriet waited 10 minutes at the bus stop outside the medical center and then caught the bus home. After 5 minutes, the bus stopped in a traffic jam 0.5 kilometers from the medical center for 12 minutes. And the bus then traveled directly to Harriet's village. Harriet got off the bus at a stop in her village 1.5 kilometers from the medical center. Harriet was on the bus for a total of 20 minutes. Draw her journey on a distance time graph. There is plenty of information here, so we need to do one thing at a time. So first we're going to mark her going on a bus stop. So 15:30 she was at the medical at the center, and it took her 5 minutes to wait for the bus. So we've got, let's look at the timeline, the line which goes across 16:04. You've got two lines, it means they go up in 10 minutes, 15:40, 15:50. So 15:40, this is when she 5 minutes waited for the bus, and her journey started from this point. After 5 minutes, the bus stopped in a traffic jam 0.5 kilometers from the medical center. So 5 minutes, 0.5. 0.5. So that is we're looking at the vertical line, 0.5, and we're marking 5 minutes. And she stopped for 12 minutes. So we're going to mark 12 minutes. We go across because it was a traffic jam. It's a horizontal line. So we need to mark 12 minutes there. That's 45, that's 5, that's another 5, and 2 more. And 2 more. We just need to extend the line a little bit. And that will be the total of 12 minutes in a traffic jam. So this is when the bus stopped. And then the bus traveled directly to Harriet's village, and she got off the bus 1.5 kilometers away from the medical center. Okay, 1.5, we need to remember that. And her total journey was 20 minutes. So 1.5, it's on a vertical line. 1.5 is how far she went. Then she got off the bus and she walked 0.5 kilometers to her house. Okay, she walked at the speed of 2 kilometers per hour. Okay, so this is where she got off the bus, so we're at the last point, 1.5 kilometers away. And we need to work out, show her journey when she walked from the bus stop to her house. Okay, so let's work out how long it took her. 0.5 kilometers. She walked at the speed of 2 kilometers per hour. So 0.5 kilometers, and we know her speed is 2 kilometers per hour, or 2 kilometers per 60 minutes. So we just need to see how many lots of 0.5 in there, 4. So that means she walked 4 times less than 60 minutes. So 60 divided by 4, 15 minutes. So she walked 0.5 kilometers for 15 minutes. So 0.5 for 15 minutes. So we need to go up to number 2 on a vertical line, but across we need to go 15 minutes. So 2, let's have a look at 2 kilometers because she walked 0.5. Yeah, that's 2. And across we go for 15 minutes. Okay, so draw the line, last line, and this is her journey, Harriet's journey back home by bus. Let's look at question 15. When they were students, Paige and Anya had part-time jobs. 1 week Paige earned £51 at a rate of $8.50 per hour. How many hours did Paige work? So it's just we need to divide 51 by 8.50. So there is an easy way of doing it. Instead of saying how many 850 is going to 51, we can double 850, and that will give you 850 and 850, 17. There should be 17 here, not 6. Then we can see how many 17 going to 51. That is 3, and then 3. So we double this. So we doubled 850 previously. That is 6 hours. So she worked 6 hours. B. Anya worked as a carer at weekends. Her rate of pay for the daytime was £12 per hour. Her rate of pay for the nighttime was £9 per hour. How much did she earn working 20 daytime hours and 10 nighttime hours? So multiplying 12 by 20, let's simplify it. 20 times 2, 12 times 2 is 24, and then add the 0. That is a daytime hours, and then multiplying 9 times 10 to get the total of night time, money for the night time shifts. And we're going to add these two numbers together to get the total of all her hours, £330. Last weekend, her total daytime and her total nighttime pay were in a ratio 4:1. So she earned a total of £360. So how many night time hours did she work? So we can write these ratios as fractions, 4/5 and 1/5. So we need to find 1/5 of 360. That is your nighttime pay. So 1/5 of 360 means 360 divided by 5. Let's use the bus stop method. 5 into 36 goes 7 times. 1 is a remainder. 5 into 10 goes 2 times. 72. So £72. So now to work out the number of hours we did, we just divide her pay by 9 because she is paid £9 per hour for the night shift. Okay, so 72 divide by 9. The last step, and that will give you 8. So that means she did 8 hours at night. Question 16. One evening, all the members of a craft club either paint or sew or knit. 1/3 of the members paint, 2/5 of the members sew, and the remaining members all knit. That evening, 33 of the members either paint or sew. How many members does the craft club have in total? Okay, let's add the fractions first. We have, and that should add up to 33. Let's change them, make equivalent fractions with the same denominator. So we've got 3 and 5. We're going to make them out of 15. Okay, so 5/15 plus 6/15 will give you 11/15. So as you see, it doesn't add up to the 15/15. So 11/15 represents 33 people. What we need to find 15/15. So 4/15 is missing. So this is reverse fractions questions. So usually fractions will divide by the bottom number times by the top. Here we're going to do the reverse. We're going to divide 33 by 11. That will be 3. And then times that by 15. And that will give you 45. So 45 people in total. So we expected a bigger number than 33, so that makes sense. We can check the answer by working out fraction normal way. Let's just work out, like say 4/15 was missing. 4/15 of 45, you will work out by dividing 45 by 15, 3, and times by 4, 12. So that means that's 12 people, the remaining people who can knit. And if we take away them from 45, 45 minus 12 will give you 33. This is what we already had. So this is just checking the answer. Question 17. 15 people aged between 40 and 60 take an eye test as part of an experiment. The test involves reading letters from a chat. Each line of letters. Okay, so we've got it on a graph here. So you see the scatter graph. So letter size goes as points, that's the vertical axis, and across we have ages in years that go up by 2. And we've got the scatter graphs. So usually questions in scatter graphs are like, they look like that, and sometimes they can be asked what kind of correlation is it. You see there kind of crosses in the pattern appear to go up, that will be positive correlation. If they appear to go down, we'll call it negative correlation. But let's see the question here. So the mean age is 50 years and the mean points is 11. So we're going to find those two numbers on I lost the page now. Where is it? Here. So the mean age is 50. Let's mark 50 and go up. And mean points 11. Here go, that's where the cross goes. That is their mean number. And we are asked to draw the line of best fit through the points. So the line of best fit should go through most of the points, but it must go through the mean. Okay, something like this. Use the ruler here, and you can be slightly off. So, but it has to go through the mean. So kind of aim for the same number of crosses on above and below the line. So next one, Jared is 30 years old. Should the scatter graph be used to estimate the smallest letter size that Jared can read? 30. Let's go back to the graph and see if we have 30 or not. No, we don't. So we can't really use it for to estimate the letter size. 30 is not really on the graph. The biggest number of ages, we have 38. So what we're going to put in here, I missed that one. Estimate the smallest size, that's just 52. We go across, that will be 12. So next question comes now. So Jared is 30 and 30 is not on the graph. So we're going to say, no, we can't really use the graph to estimate the letter size. It's not there. Ages start from 38. So should the scatter graph be used to estimate the smallest size? No, we have to tick no, and there is no data on the graph for that age. So tick no. Question 18. Zina is carrying out a survey to find out how people learn about recent national political events. And here is her question. Which method do you use to learn about politics? And she's got 3 boxes to tick. One of them, social media, newspaper, and radio. So we need to write a better version of Zina's question in the box below. So as you see, she's carrying survey about recent national political events, but her question is very broad. Which method do you use to learn about politics? So we might just make it more specific. Which method do you use to learn about recent political events? That will be one improvement. And she's got 3 boxes, but what if people don't use any of this? You have to include the box none. for people who don't use any of these options, or also if they maybe use a different medium. So you have to include another box which says other. That will allow everybody to tick one of the boxes. Question 19. Simplify. Why 5 square root of 7 plus 3 square root of 7. So we just add the numbers at the front. 5 plus 3, 8, and square root of 7. Work out the value of 6 plus cube root of 8,000. Okay, so we're going to work out the cube root of 8,000. First, we're going to just split that into cube root of 8, because we know 8 is a cube number, and cube root of 1,000. Just write them separate. So cube root of 8 will be just 2, because 2 cubed is 8. And cube root of 1,000 is going to be 10, because 10 times 10 times 10 give you 1,000. And then just multiply 2 times 10 is 20. So 6 plus 20 is 26. C. Work out the value of 3 to the power of 20 divided by 3 to the power of 18. So we use the laws of indices. We're going to subtract the powers. So base number is the same, 3. 20 minus 18 will give you 2. 3 to the power of 2, or 3 squared. And we need to work it out. 3 squared means 3 times 3, which is 9. Question 20. A running club has 125 members. Each member is either a sprinter, a middle distance runner, or a long distance runner. 82 members are seniors, 45 members are long distance runners, and 5 of these are juniors. 28 members are senior middle distance runners, and there are 3 more junior sprinters than senior sprinters. A person is selected at random from the club. Let's start putting all the numbers in the boxes. So 82 is a total senior, so it goes under total for senior. Then we have 45 members, which is a total for long distance, and 5 of them are junior. 5 goes in there. And 28 members are senior and middle distance runners. Okay, so that goes in there, 28. Okay, so we need to start now working out some numbers if we have enough information. Like, for example, long distance runners, we've got 2 numbers there already, 45 and 5, so we can work out senior. Okay, and we also have number 125 for all of them, total for all of them. So that's 40 for senior long distance runners. We can work across now. Senior sprinters, 82 minus 40 minus 28, 14. 3 more junior. That's going to be 17, and that's added together give you 31. Right, what else can we work out? Yeah, we can put 125 in the total. We haven't used that number yet. So 125 members in total we have. And then we can work out junior, total of junior. So 125 minus 82. Okay, and then we can work out the other 2, because there's only 1 missing in each row. So 21, and 125 minus 45 minus 31 will give you 49. Okay, he's done. All the numbers are in place now. This gives you 5 marks. So if you know how to work out with 2-way tables, please don't miss this question. Start with the most obvious ones when one number is missing either in a row or in a column. And then slowly you will work out all the numbers. Okay, so we need to work out the probability now, which is 21 over 125. Don't forget to use fractions for probability. And that is the answer, 21 over 125. Question 21. A company logo is printed on cards and letters. So we've got two shapes here. And each line in the larger logo has a corresponding line in the smaller one. The lengths of the corresponding lines are all in a ratio of 5 to 2. So we need to complete these two statements, sentences with the right words. So one shape is bigger than the other, enlargement. We call them similar shapes. So that's the word we're going to put in where the dotted line is. The two logos are similar because corresponding lines are in the same proportion. If they were identical, we will call them congruent shapes. If one is bigger than the other, like enlargement, we call them similar. And in the second statement, we're going to put the larger logo is an enlargement of the smaller logo using scale factor of. So we've got the factor, we've got the ratio 5 to 2. We're going to turn it into the equivalent ratio with 1. So let's just make second number 1. So divide both numbers by 2. And that will give you a ratio 2.5 to 1. And that is a scale factor. So the number 2.5 is a scale factor. It tells you that the bigger logo is 2.5 times bigger than the other one. So this is what scale factor is, 2.5. We just change the ratio when one of the numbers is 1. So the second number shows the scale factor. One of the lines on the larger logo is 7.5 centimeters long. How long is the corresponding line on the smaller logo? Because we're finding a smaller one, we're dividing 7.5 by the scale factor. We're finding the smaller size. 7.5 divided by 2.5, so just see how many 2.5s go into 7.5, which is 3. So 3 centimeters, which makes sense because we found the lines on the smaller logo. To question 22, find the expression for the nth term of this sequence, 1, 10, 19, 28, 37. Find the common difference between the terms. So you see the numbers go up by 9 every time. So that makes it like look like a 9 times table. So we can put 9n. That's the beginning of your formula. And then we need to go forward and find the number which would have been in front of 1. So that way you will do 1 minus 9, and that will give you negative 8. So this is what we put next to the 9n. So 9n minus 8 is the nth formula. It's like a 9 times table, but minus 8 every time. 9n minus 8. B, the nth term of a different sequence is 3 times bracket n squared plus 1 bracket. Find the 10th term of the sequence. So we know the 10th term is when n is 10. So let's replace n by 10 and work it out. Do the squaring first, 100 plus 1. Work out what's inside the bracket and then times by 3. That is 303. Explain why 601 cannot be a term of this sequence. Do not find any more terms. So can you see the sequence is start with 3 at the front, 3 times whatever in the bracket. That means the answer is always a multiple of 3. And 601 is not the multiple of 3. I can't divide 601 by 3. You can try to divide and see if you don't get the whole number. That's what the proof that is 601 can't be in this sequence. So 601 is not in 3 times table or can't be divided by 3 or is not multiple of 3. So one of these will be the correct answer. Question 23. A catering company made 40 trays of sandwiches for a party buffet. Each tray contained the same number of sandwiches. They made trays of eggs, trays of egg, tray of cheese, and trays of meat sandwiches in a ratio 1 to 3 to 4. Okay, let's just write this ratio 1 to 3 to 4. Let's label them eggs, cheese, and meat. And if we add all these trays, they add up to 40. So if I add these numbers, 1 and 3 and 4, they do not add up to 40, they give you 7. But I can make an equivalent ratio, multiply each number by 5, and that will actually add up to 40. That's what I want. So 5, 3 becomes 15, and 4 becomes 20. So we're going to use this ratio, 5 to 15 to 20, and because they add up to 40 trays. Okay, now using these numbers in a ratio, we're going to work out 20% of egg sandwiches. We're going to work out 20% of 5, which is 5 divided by 5, 1, or find 10%, 0.5, double it, that will be 1. Okay, we're going to work out the cheese now, and cheese is 10% of 15. And 10% of 15 means 15 divided by 10, and that will give you 1.5. And meat sandwiches are 25%, which means a quarter. So we can just find a quarter over 20. 20 divided by 4, which is 5. Okay, so these are the number of trays for each type of sandwiches, and to find how many trays were uneaten, we just add them up, and that will add up to 1 plus 1.5 plus 5, they add up to 7.5, 7.5 trays. Okay, so we use the rules, but we use like a ratios here. We made equivalent ratio, made sure it add up to 40, and then worked out percentages of them. Question 24. Novak's online chocolate company has a special offer. Special offer is free sample box worth £3 and requires a minimum spend of £25. So Novak records the number of free sample boxes he sends to his customers, and the graph shows the relative frequency that a customer has been sent a free sample box after 200, 400, 600, 800, and 1,000 customer boxes offers. So these numbers goes across numbers of customers, and relative frequency goes up. So remember, relative frequency actually means probability. They are written as decimals. So these numbers 0.1, 0.2, they are probabilities. Okay, the first question, what is the total value of the free sample boxes that Novak sent his first 400 customers? Let's find number 400 on the graph. Oh, I lost the page. Let's go back. Yes, let's find the 400. Go up to the dot and then go across, and that is just halfway between 0.3, 0.4, which is 0.35. So that is the relative frequency for 400 customers. So it's like 35% of 400 people got the boxes. Let's just work it out. 0.35, we just multiply by 400, or finding 35% of 400. We can just multiply, use the easy numbers, like we can do 35 times 4 here, because if we multiply the first number by 100, you can divide the second by 100. That's the same as 35 times 4. And that will give you the number of customers who received free sample boxes, 140. 140 boxes, or 140 customers got them out of 400. So we need to work out the value now. Value is 140 boxes. Remember, each box was worth of £3. So 140 boxes with times by £3. Is it £3? Yes, free sample box worth £3. Yeah, okay. Well, let's just multiply by 3, and that will give you the total value for 140 boxes, which is £420. £420. Okay, B. Novak says the most accurate estimate of the probability that a customer will be sent a free sample box is 0.38. Is he correct? Explain how you decide. Okay, let's look at the graph. 0.38 is actually the last dot. That is just above 1,000 customers. Explain how you decide. Okay, so relative frequency with 0.38 actually shows a better, a more accurate result, because it is from the result from 1,000 customers compared to the previous one from 400 customers. So obviously the bigger the sample, the more accurate the results. So sample size is bigger. Question 25. The diagram shows the graph of y equals 3x minus 1 and y equals 4 minus 3x. And you need to find the solution for that. Let's just see the question. So you see these two lines cross. Use the graph to write down an approximate solution for the equation 3x minus 1 equals 4 minus 3x. Basically, look, graphically it's very easy to solve these kind of questions. Look where the two lines cross and go down to find the value for x, and which is just under 1. So it looks like 0.8. So x is 0.8. So looking at the next part of the question, circle the equation that represents a line parallel to y equals 3x minus 1, and you have 5 options underneath. So these kind of equations are written general formulas: y equals ax plus c, when a is the number and it shows gradient or steepness of the line, and c is the y-intercept, shows where your line crosses y-axis. So basically, for the line to be parallel, they should travel in the same direction. So your a number before x should be the same as 3, because we've got 3 in front of x. So coefficient of x is 3. And which out of this option has got 3? That one. So y equals 3x plus 2. So these two lines will have the same gradient. It means they travel in the same direction. And that means they are parallel. So, parallel lines that don't cross, they are travel in the same direction. Circle the equation where y is directly proportional to x. So when y is proportional to x, x will have number in front. It means you multiply it by a number. So just look for the y equals something x. So something in front of x should be there, and that's going to be the last option, y equals 4 times x, or 4x. That's it, guys. I hope you found this video useful, and please comment in the comment section. Let me know what else you would like to know.